Play your emotions, don't let your emotions play you, is a statement that I would personally roll my eyes at, but I think sets the stage for this video. Try and make your most aggressive metal face and play a very sweet ballad. Now try and play your emotional blues lick face, but play a brutal riff. Feels a bit disconnected, right? Looks a bit hilarious? It does, from the facial expression of either the performer or the audience member. If someone was headbanging during a folky ballad that I was playing, I'd be a little confused and annoyed. Not only because I don't super appreciate or love a sarcastic audience, but because I'd be expecting a certain reaction. If you told someone congratulations and they told you to go fall down some stairs, you might be just as confused or annoyed because the reaction that you got wasn't the one that you were expecting. After playing music for a while, we all develop strengths, weaknesses, and preferences within our own playing. Those strengths, weaknesses, and preferences will either help us excel or not at creating certain emotions. If you excel at brutal riffage and shred solos, you might be extra equipped to create like an adrenaline rush from a certain listener. If you excel at Americana ballads, you might be better equipped to elicit nostalgia or vulnerability, depending on the listener. So listen to music and keep track of what makes you feel, and maybe even what's happening in the moment that's making you feel that way. You'll end up developing your own cliches for creating certain emotive experiences as a writer. That being said, certain emotive tools have a lifespan. The phrase cuts you like a knife, or cuts me like a knife, or cuts like a knife is super cliche to me, at least. Like, I can't even say that without thinking of some sort of like melodramatic 80s ballad of like, cuts me like a knife. The phrase moonlight through a window is technically a cliche, but it also is a fine way to create a setting. And it's really what you say after that that makes it played out or not. At some point, the writer or performer of the original music may feel a bit distant. They might get tired of their own music. They might not feel the same way as they did in that moment. But as performers, they're going to have to create that emotion again on stage for people. As you become a more and more experienced performer, you'll get better at kind of quieting your inner emotions or inner freak out in favor for a performance, even with something as universal or minor as stage fright. For instance, there was a band I was in college. We got this awesome gig. It was our biggest gig yet, personally and as a band. We had to travel for the gig. When we got there was a security guard who had to like radio us in. There was a green room that didn't suck. It was actually catered, which was definitely new. The stage was bigger, the sound was better, the audience was bigger, and we played about a 40-minute set in about 30 minutes. I may be exaggerating a little bit, but you get the idea. We rushed through songs. Fortunately, we recorded the performance. When we're listening back, we were all shocked. I remember asking everyone in the band and being like, hey, did it sound like this to you? Because it didn't to me. Like, this sounds ridiculous, but it sounded normal at the time. We found out in that moment that all of us were having the same adrenaline rush, and collectively, the four of us experienced a different length of time between 1 second and another second. The lesson learned from that experience was maybe check a metronome before you start the song. As a guitarist, it's really easy to tell if you have those kinds of nerves through one's vibrato. Vibratos can even be described as nervous. It makes sense because the same kind of feeling you get from this, of speaking when nervous, is about the same speed as a nervous vibrato. So getting a deeper control over your technique, writing ability, and performing ability will just help you when creating or masterfully expressing emotion without having to fall prey to your own in the moment. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, comment. I love talking to you guys, and I'll see you next week.